All right, so everybody, welcome to another live session, another AMA. We've been doing these every other week. For those that don't know, I'm Angelo Ciaramello, CEO of The Funded Trader, and I'm here to answer the most pertinent questions that are on your guys' mind for the last 2 weeks. So we've been doing these sessions every 2 weeks now. For those that know TFT from several years now, we have been going through kind of a rebuilding process right now over the last year since March of 2024. We've been making a lot of progress as of the last 6 weeks, out of the last couple months. We've been building a lot of momentum. A lot of people have been getting paid. We're back in the top 15 in terms of payouts that are being sent, which is a very telling metric in terms of how things are doing at the moment. So a lot is happening right now at the Funded Trader. A lot of projects are going on. And like I said, we're making a lot of progress. So I'm here to answer the main questions that you guys have. I'm here to really anything that's on your guys' mind. I'm here to bring more clarity as to what's going on and really just steer the ship. So I see a ton of comments going on right now inside of Discord. If you guys did not participate yet in the giveaway, go to the giveaways channel, fill out the form, just put a question that you guys want answered in there. I'm going to use that form to pick the winners after the session. So make sure you guys participate in there. And let's pretty much just get into it. So let me pull up these questions. Let's see. All right. So opening topics. This is based on what people want to know. What's the future of TFT? So for those that don't know what the Funded Trader is or what we're trying to accomplish, we're trying to offer, or we are offering an opportunity for traders to obtain more capital within the market. So if you guys are trading right now, you believe that you have the skills to perform well in the market, but you simply are just undercapitalized. We're bridging the gap for you guys by providing a challenge and assessment where you trade within our rules, our parameters, and if you pass the challenge, you unlock what's called a TFT funded account, and on that funded account, you can earn essentially real money, and the real money is paid out in terms of payouts. So you get payout splits. Some challenges are an 80% payout split. Some are all the way up to a 95% payout split. And what that means is that if you make $10,000, you could end up withdrawing $8,000 or up to $9,500. So that is the offer that we're doing right now for TFT. I think the future of TFT includes a lot more variability in terms of the program that we're offering. And by that, I mean we're throwing around a lot of ideas to get closer to offering a very unique and customized experience for traders. And an example of that could be in the past, we've done a lot of paid competitions. We've talked a lot about instant funding, moving towards that model. So we're trying to find different ways where essentially we can continue to offer this model of people participating in a meritocratic system where their performance determines what they are paid. And we're trying to continue to find the best model to do that. So you've seen recently we made a lot of changes with the challenges in order to offer you guys what you want, which is lower prices, quicker payout periods, higher payout splits, easier, quote unquote, easier drawdown rules. Not easier rules generally because we have put in some things like the consistency rule, the daily minimum profit rule, trying to balance things out. So we think the now of TFT is continuing to adjust the challenge in a way that's balancing the risk for the firm and the trader. But the future of TFT is definitely a more dynamic environment where, let's keep it simple, maybe you pick the challenge that you take or you participate amongst other traders in this entire pool of a competition where you make a percentage of a pot of profit or something like that. So there's a lot of ideas going on, but ultimately the goal of the company is just to continue to collect trading data, continue to assess trading behavior, trading psychology, and how we can then use that data essentially to make money, to monetize. And that's been the goal of the company since the beginning, and that continues to be the goal now. So in terms of the long-term vision of the business, at the peak of the funded trader, we had over 100,000 users on the platform. Right now, we have about, I believe, 15,000 users on the platform actively trading. So we're looking to scale back up. We're looking to eclipse 100,000 users. My personal goal would be to have 500,000 users actively trading in the funded trader programs. So the long-term vision is, how do we create a unique experience where 500,000 people find value in using our programs and our service? And that's what we're currently working towards and working on right now. Next one. So real quick again, if you guys have not filled out the form, go to giveaways inside of Discord, fill out the form, put your question in there, and I'm gonna go ahead and pick winners after that. And I appreciate all you guys putting the comments inside of Discord as well. I appreciate all the support. It does not go unnoticed, and I've been receiving a lot of questions recently about how I handle and the team handles the situation that we're in, how we remain positive. Oh, let's see. Let's make sure this chat is still in focus. Give me 1 second. Here we go. All right, so I've been receiving a lot of questions about how we remain positive, how we remain focused. At the end of the day, we're working on something that we're extremely passionate about. We're working on something that we believe in, and I think this is a lesson for anybody. If you believe in something, whether that's trading, whether that's some type of other business, you guys should pursue that with every ounce of your being, every ounce of your passion. You guys should go after that, and that's how we feel about this company. That's how we feel about this community. We're really passionate about delivering a good experience to you guys, and although we have gone through some trials and tribulations, that doesn't diminish our passion, and that's part of the reason why you should pick things that you're passionate about. If anything, that makes us more determined and really just more excited to try to overcome this situation. So again, I appreciate all the support that you guys have been showing through a tough time, and we are gaining a lot of momentum right now. So some things are starting to pay off, but I still want to remain kind of neutral and just say that we're working really hard and we have a long way to go at the moment. So next question, what is the biggest strategic bet your firm is making in this new chapter, and what makes you confident in it? This is a very, very good question, to be honest. I think the biggest bet that we're taking at the moment is building our own prop tech. So moving from a third party who really has established themselves as a main player in the space, moving to our own system and our own solution. I see a lot of value in working with vendors for certain things, but at some point, if you're going to establish yourself as a premier business in any industry, you need to do things yourself. You need to have control of your data. You need to have control of your product pipeline, how quick you can go to market with things, how the quality of the work, all of those things. And so, yeah, us moving to our own dashboard, our own backend, having control of all of our data, that's the strategic bet that we've been making. We've been building it over the last year and a half. We hit some roadblocks with it. We had to switch teams while we were building the project. We put a lot of money into it. And yeah, so I think that this is going to create a new experience entirely, and mainly because when we create features for our new dashboard, our new tech, it's not going to be stolen within 2 weeks, or not stolen, but reused within 2 weeks by another firm. It's going to be hard for firms to keep up with the innovation that we're about to bring through our own system. And it's also going to be really interesting for ourselves as owners of the technology to be able to just be within the code, bug fixing, looking at different ways to do things and constantly improving it. So it's a strategic bet because we're shifting from a vendor who's done it longer than we have. But at the same time, we're very confident in our ability to get this done and to have the experience not only as good as it is now, but in my opinion, it's going to be way better. And that's really why we're doing it. So let's just say you guys log into your dashboard one day and there is information there which not only helps you to assess your ability to trade and how you're doing within the challenge, but it also just makes it easier for you guys to understand the rules, understand exactly where you're at, understand from a community perspective how others are doing, makes the support experience easier. You're able to raise a ticket, immediately get an answer very catered to your specific situation. That is the experience we're going for, where you walk into our dashboard and it's like the Apple store where you're confident you're going to get a solution, you're confident everything is going to work correctly, and there's not going to be these weird things happening like the screen randomly refreshing and stuff like that. So we're bringing that experience out to what we're going for, and that makes us confident in that bet. So next question: how does TFT ensure its long-term sustainability in a competitive space? This is, really difficult to answer in kind of one shot. It's really any industry that's saturated, that has a lot of different players within it. I think ultimately what we're going for and what a lot of the businesses in this industry need to focus on is the customer experience and sort of the supply chain of from buying the account to trading on the account to passing to getting to the funded stage to getting to the payout stage and beyond that. That is the core of the business, and the better that becomes, the more this is talked about amongst their peers, along with support as well. I didn't mention that. So that whole process of you just using the product, the UI and UX experience, that is how we're going to be a leading player in the space. That is how previously we became a leading player in the space, was having really great support, a good experience in the challenge perspective, proving that will pay out. It's no question that we have done our dent in the industry. We have done our service to the industry. We've paid out over 155 million in payouts, which can all be verified, to traders, and that's a testament to the team. That's a testament to the community. That's a testament to a lot of people working together to to get to the point where that happened and we achieved that goal. And it's still amongst the top five in the industry in terms of how much firms have paid out, until I'm proven otherwise. So how do we remain competitive? It's really just delivering on the service, improving the experience, and just be innovative, continuing to change, and listening to you guys. This, at the end of the day, is not my community. It's not the funded trader. It's the you guys. It's the people that are in the community. You guys voting on changes. You guys working with us. We're building something new. We're building something different. We're creating an opportunity that never was available previously, in terms of you paying a pretty slow amount to get access to capital to get large payouts. So we're gonna keep being flexible and working with you guys. I'm gonna post a poll actually later today because we need your guys' help on a decision. And that's really how this is gonna get done. A community built by you guys, not built by just me, not my ideas, not my team's ideas, built by you guys as well. That's how we're going to build a brand that's going to remain steadfast within the space. Why should we trust TFT again after the shutdown? Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not here to like preach on why you should trust the funded trader. I think if you have doubts about this company or any company within the industry or generally, you guys should do your own due diligence. You should read the reviews. You should know what you're getting into. And you guys should take the time to, whether it's on a whiteboard, on a notepad, in your phone, assess what the positives and negatives of putting your money into something really is. Because at the end of the day, you guys are buying a challenge. You guys are using your money to purchase something. And whether that's you going to the store and purchasing soap, or you guys purchasing education at a university or you guys purchasing this challenge, you should assess what the potential outcomes can be, and you guys should be very aware of that. So if you feel as though you want to be one of the traders right now purchasing challenges, um, positioning yourself to get payouts, to build this community with us, at the end of the day, if you guys want to be a loyal supporter of the community, then that's a decision that is yours to make. If you guys want to just sit on the sidelines, watch what we're doing, you're interested in how we build community, how we do giveaways, etc., you guys can do that. Or if you guys want to leave entirely, never look at the funded trader again, you guys can do that. That's the beauty of a free system. It's the beauty of you making your own decisions. And I'm not here to make any decisions for anyone else or convince anyone per se of anything else. We provide a pretty good opportunity, in my opinion, and we're going to continue to improve it. And that's pretty much it. So let's move on. But real quick, as I take a break, if you post inside of the chat, inside of Discord, you're not going to qualify for the giveaway. You have to go inside of giveaways, inside of this channel. I'll post the link again inside of here. And you guys have to participate there in order to participate in the giveaway. So here we go. We got a ton of messages in here. Participate in here. Boom. There you go. So go there, go to the form. That's how you guys can participate. I'm going to pick the winners, 50 10K accounts after this. And I just want to say, we have been giving away a lot of accounts recently. Over 1,500 accounts have been given away probably in the last 45 days since I became a public facing figure of TFT again. And we just put a poll out inside of Discord. Let's see what the results are. The poll was, which one are you most curious about? Total giveaway accounts sent since January 1st, their pass rates, the number of payouts, the pass rate on each account size for Royal Pro, or the percentage of traders who reach a payout on each challenge type. 232 of you voted for the final one. You want to know the percentage of traders who reach a payout on each challenge type. Off the top of my mind, I know it's around 1%, which might seem crazy to you guys. I'm going to put the full details of that inside of Discord when I get a moment. So look out for that. But let's go ahead. Let's jump into the next section. Payouts and processing. Why do payouts still take longer than 3 to 5 days? So we just posted in the statistics channel of the Discord the average processing time for payouts since January 1st. 95% of payouts are paid in under 5 days. Payouts that are over 5 days is mostly due to people who are not onboarding to Rise, people who have failed KYC and inevitably aren't getting their payout. The payout ends up getting rejected. It's for people who are getting flagged by the risk team. So about less than 5% of people are getting flagged. There's some type of issue with their trading in terms of the terms of use. That payout is then going to get paid in some type of settlement. So the payout is just sitting in the pending status while we're figuring that out. But it's very important to understand that 95% of payouts are getting paid in under 5 days. And I know that that's not really par for the industry per se. A lot of firms say they pay out in under 24 hours, or they have payout guarantees where they pay out in under 24 hours, or you get $1,000, something like that. I think that that's fantastic. I think what those firms are doing is amazing. And I personally think that you guys should be using firms like that as well. That you see that as an option. As we all know, the name of the game in this space is trying to accumulate as much capital as possible, and by doing that, you're working with multiple firms. So if you're choosing to work with the funded trader as one of the firms that you are going to work with, it should be understood that if you follow all of the rules, you are going to get paid in under 5 days. If you request on Monday, it's very likely you're going to get paid by Friday, and that just is what it is at the current moment. There's different reasons why our payout times are not quicker, and we're going to be hoping to improve those once we get to our new dashboard and our new technology in order to have more access to our data, be making quicker decisions, etc. The next question is there any way to reduce payout times to 24 and 48 hours? That is clearly the goal. That is what people want to have. But at the same time, there is different factors. So will we look to potentially have payouts under $1,000 in 24 hours? Potentially, yes. We're going to try to figure out a way to get the majority of payouts paid out in a shorter period of time. But we know that amongst the other firms, especially the top firms in the industry, payouts are mostly not getting paid in 24 hours. There's a due diligence process that's going on, and there's kind of a lead time there. That being said, we're trying to be better than the standard, and so my personal goal is to have payouts be in 24 hours. But the reality is, right now, that's not how it is. You can see the full statistics inside of the statistics channel where it says the average payout time is around four business days. That's just the reality. 95% of payouts are paid out in that time frame. Will you introduce on-demand payouts? I'm not entirely sure what you mean by on-demand payouts. There's I feel like there's different ways that people define what on-demand payouts are. Right now, we do have anytime payouts available for the night and night pro challenges. So that what that means is if you guys make it to the funded account, you satisfy all of the conditions in terms of the consistency, the daily march rule, the minimum profit per day. You can request your payout right after that happens. So that is available at the moment on those challenge types. In the future, I've actually seen some firms do where basically you can choose like the consistency rule, and that adjusts your payout period. So if you want to get paid every 14 days, you get 100% payout or something. So your payout split and your consistency rule can like change based on what you choose. That's a dynamic way of doing things, and I personally like that. I like giving you guys the options. Maybe some people are comfortable getting paid every 14 days, being able to request every 14 days, and they want 100% split versus somebody that wants to get paid on demand, but they're willing to have a higher consistency rule. I do like that. Maybe that's something we'll do in the future. But yeah, moving on to the next question. If Rise denies my payout due to KYC issues, what happens? So you guys have to understand that as a business, we're currently aligned with Rise as a business. So if Rise is making decisions in terms of AML and KYC, we as a business really cannot go against those decisions, because then it puts us in a position where we're essentially running our own compliance and saying, despite another company saying that this KYC and AML is not valid, we're going to override that and say that it is. And that puts me at a position of legal risk where I'm essentially sending money to people who are being denied KYC and AML, which can put me in a position that is of heightened legal risk again. So, what is the solution to that? It's just offering more payment options or more withdrawal options where you don't even need to maybe use Rise or select Rise as an option. Um, we wanted to enable Plain. We just haven't gotten around to doing it quite yet. I'm going to try to prioritize that in the next coming days because I'm seeing a lot of complaints around Rise. So when we enable Plain, you still will have to onboard with them and you still will have to pass KYC with them. So if you cannot onboard with Rise, I'm not saying you won't be able to onboard with Plain, but you will have to be able to onboard with Plain as well and pass KYC there. So you're going to have to do it either way. We're also going to be enabling crypto for US traders. There's going to be a process there because for crypto, for US traders, you have to fill out a W-9 form. So we're going to have to send you guys that form before you get the account essentially, or before you get the payout. So I just have to work on that as well with the team. So we are going to get crypto enabled for US. We are not looking to enable crypto for any other country besides the ones available at the moment, simply because it's a risk right now to the business to do that. We need to be doing AML compliance policy when it comes to sending people money. We don't know who we're sending money to if we don't do that generally. We do KYC ourselves, but that extra layer of protection does help us and reduce kind of our legal risk. So Rise, if you're having issues with that, when Plain becomes enabled, you should onboard and try to onboard with Plain. Make a request via Plain instead of Rise when you get your payouts. As of now, you don't need to guess if you can use Rise. You can go to Rise right now, sign up on their portal, register with the email the same as your funded trader email, and try to onboard with them right now. This is like an example, right? Let's say right now, before you buy a challenge, you go and onboard with Rise. They deny your onboarding, so they reject you for whatever reason, right? They're not comfortable working with you. You are in a country that for TFT where we will only pay you out via Rise. So let's say you're in a country like the USA right now where you can only get paid via Rise, but you failed Rise onboarding, right? This is personally what I would do is I would complete, or if you're willing to do this is a risk for you. You could still buy a challenge even though you failed Rise's onboarding. If you're in a country that is not eligible or that is only eligible for Rise payouts, you should wait until Plain becomes enabled. When Plain becomes enabled, then you're going to have to go through the process of passing the challenge. You're going to have to go through the process of onboarding with Plain, and you can use Plain as your payment option. You don't request via Rise. You also, I believe, can go to Plain's website right now and try to onboard with them to see if you pass their KYC. So it is on you to pass either Rise or Plain's KYC to get paid if you're in one of those countries. I don't want to hear when you get to the funded account, you get to your payout, you request via Rise, then you onboard, and then you fail, and then we say we can't pay you. I don't want to hear, oh my God, I can't, there's no options. No, you failed KYC, and you were lazy and should have did KYC before you bought the challenge. So that is my advice to you guys. If right now you're trading an account and you're not onboarded yet with Rise and you have to get paid via Rise, pause what you're doing, go to Rise and try to get onboarded with them. If you can't, for whatever reason, get onboarded with Rise, we're going to announce Plain in the next coming days. By next week, try to onboard with Plain. So those are your options when it comes to that. I see the comments about Rise KYC issues. Listen, they're doing the best they can, and they have a low risk tolerance, it sounds like, when it comes to sending people money, and that's why there's issues with KYC per se. They're just trying to be strict with their AML and KYC policy. Moving on to the next one, what are measures in place now to avoid payout delays? Again, that's a very general question. I would just get back to the way we've structured our challenges. So the way the company manages risk generally is on the challenge parameters. I mean, there's multiple different ways, but the challenge parameters mainly creating a challenge in a way where we can forecast the percentage of payouts versus revenue that is coming in. So, for example, the Night Pro, hypothetically, we might know that every $1,000 in revenue that's brought in, about $300 is going to get paid in payouts. So that is how we're managing risk. We're creating the challenges in a way where we know X amount is going to get paid in payouts. Now, there is market events. There's volatility in the last 2 weeks. There's been a ton of volatility and opportunities for people to make more money. We are constantly monitoring and looking at different ways we can adjust the parameters, different ways we can adjust the rules, and that really that's the main measures that we're putting in place to manage risk for the business. Now, there's other things like managing our processing accounts, managing our relationships with vendors, stuff like that, which we're constantly working on. From a processing standpoint, we are accepting credit card, debit card, so we are working with banks to process payments, and we have a pretty good team now for that. We have a lot of variety in terms of the accounts that we can bring money into. and how we're managing all of that, and managing chargebacks, fraudulent payments, stuff like that. So managing fraud when it comes to payments and managing chargebacks is a huge point of emphasis as well, because if you don't manage chargebacks well, then your account gets paused, your money gets held, and that hurts cash flow for the business. So that's another way that we need to that we essentially manage risk. But what are things you guys can do to avoid payout delays? Read all of the rules. Number one, read the full contract before you start your funded account. Uh, Complete your onboarding for Rise. Complete your onboarding for Plane when it's available. Understand how you can get paid. Understand the steps that it takes to get paid out. Those are things that you guys can do to avoid payout delays. Again, a lot of the delays over 4 or 5 days are just simply because people can't onboard to Rise. Something's wrong with their KYC that they've completed. They're submitting documents that have expired dates, or they don't have the right names, or etc. So those are things you guys can do to avoid the payout delays. All right, let's keep going. Real quick. So if you guys want to participate in the giveaway, I'm giving away 50 accounts at the end of the session. Go to giveaways in Discord right now and just post your question in the form. I'm going to just look at the submissions after this. All right, next one, instant funding and new products. When is the instant funding launching? Great question. So we have from basically today, we have 60 days to go to our technology. So within the next 60 days, by June 16th, we have to go to our new technology, our new dashboard. We are going to go there a lot sooner than June 16th. The plan is May, which is next month. So the plan is next month, we're going to be going to our new dashboard. We are going to start to hint at it, because we're going to do a beta test period where we're going to give certain users access to be able to use the dashboard to provide us some feedback. As soon as that dashboard goes live, you're going to see the Gold Rush Challenge on the dashboard. This is going to be, I can promise you guys this is going to be the most interesting instant funding program in the industry. I guarantee it. Or we are going to instantly get feedback from you guys, and you're going to help us change it to make it the most interesting. I have been posting polls already asking you guys for feedback in creating it, but let's see. Once it's out there, we're going to continue to ask you guys for feedback on it. So when is it launching? It'll launch with the new dashboard that is coming out. We're shooting for next month. We're just making sure we're testing everything. And there's going to be a lot more information coming out about this in the next few weeks. And that's why I'm at the moment very busy. The team at the moment is very busy, because there's a lot that goes into this to make it up to the standard that we want it to be at. Will instant funding have the same rules as Night Pro? The main difference with instant funding is we're probably going to be going for a buffer zone. I've seen this on a few futures firms that do the instant funding program. So the buffer zone is going to mean, like, let's say you have a $100,000 account. The buffer, let's say, is 5%. So you have to make 5%, and then anything above 5% is what you can withdraw. So that's going to be the main change, that none of the other challenges have that rule. We're looking at that. It's going to be similar in terms of consistency rule, the minimum profitable days rule. Daily drawdown will most likely be balance based and soft breach. Max drawdown will obviously be a hard breach. We see a lot of companies are doing really small daily drawdown and max drawdown, like 3% and 6%, or in some cases like 2% and 3% max drawdown. Most likely we're going to have 8% max drawdown, 5% daily drawdown, which is going to make it it's going to have the largest drawdown in the industry. So we're looking into that, and pricing is going to be very favorable as well. So there's going to be rules in place to help manage risk for the firm. But the goal here is cheap pricing, high profit splits. the ability to withdraw if you satisfy the conditions. I think that's going to be fair. So getting into the next question, will there be promotion for early adopters of instant funding? Yeah, well, there will always be promotions. We're heavy on the promotions. We've always been from the beginning. Anyone that's joined any of these previous AMAs, I've talked about this. The strategy has always been to run promotions because I think as a consumer, there's nothing better than getting a good deal, and feeling like you're getting a good deal at the end of the day. So right now, us running 80% off, 85% off, it's part of the strategy. We want you guys to be getting good deals. We want to feel like we're giving people good deals at the end of the day. And it's a marketing approach as well, right? We're able to post cool graphics, announcing the promotions and all of that. There's time periods and everything. So I think this is something that every company has done in history. Like if you look at if you're in the U.S., I don't know if Wendy's is necessarily outside of the U.S., but if you look at Wendy's, like they have on their fucking sign outside of each Wendy's that the ice cream cone or whatever is here for a limited time, right? It's been here for a limited time for the past fucking 10 years. So these are just strategies that companies use. They're just tactics for marketing, and we love doing promotions. So we're gonna continue to do promotions. So there will be a promotion, yes, when this launches. What will be the pricing for instant funding? The goal is to have the 100K under $500. I think within the industry, there's a few firms that are having at that price level. I have to look at it again, but yeah, the goal is for the pricing to be favorable for you guys to have access. That's the point of this. I think some companies fail to realize that like the whole goal of this opportunity is to give you guys uh, access, right? So by charging $3,000, that doesn't give the target customer access. That doesn't give the undercapitalized trader access to our program. So the goal is to have low pricing for you guys and straightforward rules for you guys to follow. Let's go. Platform tech. And you see, we still have a lot to go through, so we're going to keep doing this. Platform and tech. When is the new dashboard launching? So I touched on this just before. The new dashboard is going to launch in May. That's what we're shooting for right now. And yeah, so I'll give you an update as exactly where we're at. We have finished the core of monitoring the accounts, connecting to all the platforms, and like Platform 5, C Trader, Match Trader. So that is a huge component of the entire project. So just getting the data in from each of the platforms, being able to digest it, pipe it into our system to evaluate it. So that's completed. The front end is basically completed. So the dashboard you guys are going to see is basically done at this point. And then the back end that we use, like the admin panel, that's, I would say, 50% completed. We're working on that at the moment. That's what we're starting to really focus on. And then the final step is really tying it all together. So having the connectivity between everything, which won't be too difficult. And then testing. So we want to at least have 2-3 weeks of testing, making sure that breaches are working correctly, the dashboard has all the right information in the right places, checkout works the same as it should be, all that stuff. And that's stuff that I personally love doing. I have a background in IT, and I just love product. I love UI, UX, and I just love process. So I'm going to be going through myself, testing everything along with other people on the team, making sure that it works. And that's a huge part of all of this. As a customer, even myself, I look at some of the other firms and I use their checkout and I use their website, and it's just not efficient. Or there's things like I start an order, I go to checkout, then it's stuck, then I can't complete the order, then there's no order history page, stuff like that. So I want to make everything super easy, super straightforward, where you guys never kind of get blocked. So that being said, there's going to be a new website launching too. I think our current website is like terrible, to be completely honest with you. There's too much going on there. So we're gonna be simplifying the website. We're gonna have a new look. We're going for a more sophisticated version of the funded trader. I think right now it's very cartoonish, animated, etc. We're gonna keep the medieval theme, but it's gonna be a more sophisticated look. And you guys will see when you see the website. I think that's the right direction for us to go in, because this is a serious company at the end of the day and a serious opportunity, and we want to balance the having fun with people, making sure people take us seriously. What are the new features of TFT's own trading platform? That's a whole other thing. So I put a poll out to you guys about the trading platform. That is definitely a project that is going to be very interesting, because right now, like, there's MetaTrader, there's C Trader, there's Match Trader, right? There's, on the future side, there's Project X, there's Volumetrica, there's Trade of 8, there's Ninja Trader. For whatever reason, people have not put together, in my opinion, just a great platform. Like, there's Trade Locker. I've heard there's a lot of issues with Trade Locker. Um, so on the trading platform side, I think our team can build a fantastic trading platform. We already gathered feedback from you guys. It's clear that on the risk management side, you guys want the ability to create your own daily drawdown levels. You want to create lockout periods. You want to create locks on certain symbols that you don't want to trade for like 24 hours, 36 hours, etc. You just want the ability to have more control over managing your risk um, for your accounts, right? You want to be able to close trades on the dashboard. You want to be able to monitor trades more easily on the dashboard, on the accounts, or on the trading platform. So I think an integration between the firm and the trading platform, where they work more synonymously together, would be a huge improvement for the community, for you guys. So that's what we're that's what we're gonna go after when it comes to the trading platform. Um, you guys suggested, I think, 40 features already. So this is a lesson to anybody who is an entrepreneur who's building a product. You don't need to come up with all the ideas yourself. So I could sit here and think I'm fucking Einstein, and I'm gonna come up with the Socrates of trading, and I'm gonna come up with the best platform ever, and it's just me and my team coming up with it. That's not the reality, right? You guys have all the ideas. You guys have all the questions, or you guys have all the features in your mind that we need to use. You guys are the ones using the platform at the end of the day, right? I'm very familiar with all the platforms, but you are the users. So us asking you guys for feedback on what we should put in the platform is like the number one thing that we should be doing. And so anyone building anything, like, that's what you should do. Get a community, that's number one. Get an audience, and then start asking that audience what they want. It's not about what you want, it's about what they want. So we're listening to you guys on the feature side. There's another survey that's going to come out in the next probably week, about the platform as well. We're kind of going through each of the sections, and there's some more like feedback that we need from you guys. And it was cool because the feedback you gave us, you guys were using ChatGPT or some sort of LLM. So you were putting in, your ideas there. ChatGPT or the LLM was giving a more refined response, and that was really, really helpful for us, because we just got like a lot of really, really good ideas, to be honest. So I'll be posting some more information about that, but that's what's going on with the actual trading platform. That is part of the vision of what we're doing as well. Will TFT build its own broker? TFT itself, it will never become a broker, the funded trader, just because we are really just a funding evaluation business. We're essentially in the educational reward space, where we're rewarding you guys for your ability to trade and your data. So I don't think TFT itself will become a broker. Will an entity that TFT is associated with become a broker, yes. We are kind of in the process of figuring out the direction of starting a brokerage as a separate business right now. We've been going back and forth over that idea for a long time. And yeah, I think it's a natural evolution to have a brokerage arm or a company affiliated with TFT that is a brokerage. Um, and I will say this, I have some ideas on the brokerage side um, that no one is doing that I think will be very interesting to you guys, because a lot of people that previously were trading brokerage accounts are now trading prop firms, right? Because it's anywhere from $30 to $1,500 to purchase a prop account, and instead of putting your money in a brokerage, it makes a lot of sense if you don't have that much money to just trade prop accounts and double down on prop accounts. But for the people that do have money and the people that do make payouts over $1,000, over $2,000, there is, I believe, a way to create a brokerage program where you guys can get a lot of benefits from it. So, yeah, I do have some ideas around that. As I get more into it, maybe I'll share more feedback with you guys inside of Discord. Um, but yeah, so let's go to the next one. Are you switching from SumSub to another KYC provider? It's a great question. SumSub right now is pretty reliable because they work with a lot of firms, so they have a lot of data from users that are completing KYC on several different companies, which I think is really important. I do think one limitation right now is we'd love to offer KYC before you purchase a challenge. So I know like there's a few firms that do this, um, where essentially before you even purchase, like you can just complete KYC at any time. That way you know if there's an issue before you get funded. So that's something we want to do. We've talked about briefly creating our own KYC system, like a first level of verification when you create your account. I think that's something that we will do. Um, I don't know if that will replace some sub per se, but yeah, that is an idea that we have. And I'll ask in Discord, I'll pull in there what you guys think about it. But at the end of the day, if I was you guys, like, just make sure that you have your documents updated, make sure that your name's correct on there, the address is correct. Um, yeah, make sure that you have all your ducks in a row when it comes to KYC, because you don't want to spend all this time taking the challenge and then you fail KYC, and then we can't personally override that because from a legal and compliance standpoint that is just not a good business practice. So it looks like we're trying to fuck you over with KYC, so it puts everyone in a bad position. So yeah, guys, like, just I'm sure there's ways. If you chat GPT right now, like, how do I make sure I pass KYC? Like, how do I use third-party websites to verify my documents and stuff? I'm sure there are ways to do that. So if you're serious about this, I would advise that you take that extra time and do that step. All right, let's move on. This is going to be one of my favorite parts. So trader support and community. Can I get help if my funded account was breached due to internet failure? Um, listen. It's hard for us to know what internet failure means, right? I guess you're saying you were in a trade, you didn't put a stop loss, your internet went down, um, and then the trade hit stop loss, right? Or you hit your max breach. There's no way for us to know, right? That it's not an easy situation. So listen, if you guys are in more remote areas and internet isn't that good, I think the best thing you guys can do is invest in better internet, not just for TFT, but just generally. The world is so connected now through X, through social media, just generally through the internet. So you guys should invest in having good internet. So whether Starlink is available in your area or you have local providers, that should be step number one, is before you get involved in trading and doing all this. Also, I will say this, I've listened to a lot of podcasts. I've hosted a lot of podcasts with traders. Um, in my experience, the most profitable traders they have a consistent setup or environment where they trade. They have a consistent routine they go through. And I think part of that is ensuring that they have reliable connection. So if you guys are trading on the phone, you're on the go, trying to close trades. I know some of you are trading at work. Um, but even if you're at work, right, trade from a location at work where you know has reliable connection. You know that you're going to be able to be responsive to the trades and everything like that. So just build a better routine around trading. That's kind of my advice for that. In terms of whether we can help you due to internet failure, I mean, listen, we can help you if you believe your stop loss wasn't honored or there was some type of crazy gap on the chart. But if your internet went down and you just didn't put a stop loss, we cannot help you. Whether will there be mentorship programs or community meetups? On the community side, as you guys have seen on YouTube, we've done some really cool things in the past, and I have a lot of ideas. I want to do them when appropriate. I think right now we're really just grinding to be on the comeback. We're grinding out of the bottom right now. I don't think it'd be appropriate for us to be like going on yachts and doing crazy things and all this stuff. We shouldn't be investing money in that. So we are going to be creating some community meetup events. I have the actual idea of like what we're going to do for that, but it's just going to be when it's appropriate. And then in terms of mentorship programs, I'm building something right now that I believe is going to be a game changer for the community. And I'm building this because this is going to help not only build TFT, but it's going to help you guys. So the general idea is this, right? I'm building a system where if you want to create content, if you want to live stream, if you want to repost our podcasts, if you want to tweet about us, etc., you can get paid in challenge accounts. So based on your ability to be a content creator, based on your ability to consistently post about the company, or do live streaming or educate your community through YouTube and mention the funded trader, you're going to be able to earn points, which you can cash in for challenges. So essentially, if you guys want to quit your job, become a full-time creator for TFT and use those points to then have challenges where you can trade and make real money, that's what I'm building right now. And the reason I mention this is there's going to be a portal where people will be able to host their content, educational content, etc. Um, and there's also going to be an identifier for people who have made more than X amount of payouts, so you guys know who actually has been paid out and who you should listen to. And it's not just going to be people who have spent a lot of money on challenges and like spent 10K on challenges and made 10K in payouts. No, it's going to be someone who net has made $10,000. So maybe they spent 10,000, but they made 20,000. So I'm building that right now. And I'm gonna be looking to release that. And it's kind of like if you guys have been around the Treasure Hunt app, it's gonna be a better version of that. So that is how we're gonna be offering mentorship in a way. Will one-on-one trader interviews return? Yes. I'm looking to start those again in probably May, June area. Right now, I'm just really busy on the trading platform or the dashboard side, but I'm going to start sending out emails for traders to do interviews again starting in May and June. And I think it's going to be interesting because I have a lot to say, and I know people have a lot to say as well about their journeys. So I'm looking forward to meeting more traders. That was something that I loved doing previously. And I know you guys love the podcast. It became probably one of the biggest podcasts in the industry. So definitely bring that back. Are you bringing back the affiliate programs from 2023? I think the affiliate program needs to be like revamped. I still think it's great. I don't know why other companies don't create better affiliate programs. We historically have had one of the best affiliate programs, and I don't just say that. Like, we brought in a ton of commissions for affiliates. We had tons of deals going on. So yeah, we're gonna bring it back. It's gonna be included in the dashboard launch, the affiliate system. We're still settling with some previous affiliates, some of their payouts that they earned. So we're still working on that, but Yeah, the affiliate program is definitely an important part of the business. It's an important part of any business, right? You want affiliate partners who are going to vouch for you in their local area, and that's what we had, and that's what we're going to build and do again. All right, so quick break in the action, guys. Again, if you are on, when will you answer our questions, sir? So you had to submit your questions through the chat or through the form that is in this channel. So let me post it again. Go here and submit your questions. So go there, submit your question in the form. That is what we're going. That's where I get all the questions from for each AMA. So if you have a question, just submit it there, and then yeah, use ChatGPT just to clean up and make it presentable. So let's go back in trading psychology and strategy. What separates consistent traders from the rest? So based on my conversations, the biggest things that create successful traders are consistent consistency in terms of the instruments they trade. So they're building a playbook of instruments that they trade regularly, and then they're building a playbook of setups. They're grading what those setups are. So what is the best setup that they can take? Let's call it setup 1. What is the second best setup 2 and third best setup 3? They understand at what times of day they should be trading, potentially at what times of day they should be trading those individual setups as well. And overall, they know the amount of time that they should be spending looking at the chart, the amount of time they should be spending in terms of trading within one session, the amount of time they normally hold trades for that are their most winning trades. So, long story short, is they create a strategy, they backtest it, and they go into the market with a system. Now they trade within the market with that system. It doesn't end there. They then look at their journal from the performance they had from trading that system, and they adjust the system based on what the journal tells them. So if they've taken trades, if the majority of their profitable trades are taken from 8 to 9 in the morning and they've lost on every trade after 10 a.m., then they should stop trading after 10 a.m. It's the same thing as a business, right? If we're running ads and we're seeing that certain ad sets are costing us more money, we should turn those ads off. And there's certain ads that are doing really well, we should create more variations of those ads. And we should double down on the ones that are performing really well, right? And then if we see their performance start to go down, we should evaluate that. Maybe we're spending too much money on those ads. Maybe the text needs to be adjusted. Maybe the market has changed. So it's the same as trading, guys. You have to find the setups that work for you. Then you have to use those setups, continue to look at the data in your journal, and then reevaluate the system consistently. Maybe you even create a way where you reevaluate the system only once per month, once per week, once every other week. This is what the best traders are doing based on the conversations that I've had. So if you guys want to do that, remove the guesswork, remove the randomness, and create an edge, create a very strict system to work on, and constantly evaluate that. How can I improve discipline and risk management? So if you want to improve your discipline, this is just other in my opinion, can be improved by focusing on other things in life. So if you want to be more disciplined in trading, be more disciplined with your food, with your sleep schedule, with the amount of time you spend on your phone, with the people you talk to, the things you watch, the things you do, things you eat, if you do fasting, whatever. Those are the ways that you can improve your discipline. Maybe it's the gym, maybe it's martial arts. So find a practice and start to create a schedule and stick to that schedule. Over time, you'll become more disciplined. When you see results, you'll start to become more fulfilled, more proud of yourself, have more discipline. That will carry over into something like trading. Risk management is just about being organized. That's all it comes down to. So if you're trying to improve your risk management, before you trade, you should determine what your risk management system is. So just write it down, document it. Don't figure it out on the fly. Then you're going to look back and be like, oh shit, I risked this much of my account in the last 5 trades. I had no idea. What advice do you give traders for struggling with FOMO or over trading? Again, this is the same thing as me answering earlier, is if you have FOMO, you're over trading, it means you don't have a system. It means you're not being rigid with your plan, right? You have no process, and you're just random. You're randomly doing shit. This is the same thing in real life. If you have anxiety, if you have depression, etc., you're not focused on building any skills. You're not focused on making any progress towards anything worthy. So you're consistently thinking about the past. You're consistently anxious about what the future will be because you don't know what it'll be. The secret, guys, is to create the future. And how you create the future is by identifying how you want to perform, what are the goals, what do you want your performance to be, and then creating a plan to get there, following the plan, and then the real sauce comes from you being hypercritical of the plan. So if right now you don't even have a plan, you are gonna be fucking shaken in the market. You're gonna be shooketh when you try to trade. So that's step number one. What's the best strategy for passing challenges safely? I don't know per se the best strategy for passing challenges safely. I don't want to give advice to you on this. I just think that if you guys are trading a challenge and there is a daily drawdown, there is a consistency rule, and there is a daily march, then you need to position your strategy around those things. And that's what you should be looking at. So look at all of the rules that are being offered and create a plan in order for you to achieve those rules. The last thing anyone wants to do is pass a challenge but not have the consistency rules or like the daily march satisfied, and then you're just sitting there kind of like sputtering at the end, right? Because you didn't account for the all of the rules. So yeah, best strategy, read the rules. Giveaways and loyalty points and promotions. Will you expand to monthly giveaways? So like I said, in the last 45 days, we've given out around 1,500 accounts. So that's really wild, to be honest. So we're definitely going to continue to do giveaways. First, I'm going to do an analysis. I'm going to show you guys how many giveaway accounts we've given out, how much in payouts they've earned, what are the pass rates, etc. I want you guys to understand the risk for us as a company of giving giveaway accounts. I don't personally think the risk is very high because the pass rates on them are pretty low, but we're going to show you guys everything. So will we be expanding monthly giveaways? Most likely, yes. Can people who had giveaway accounts before the shutdown get new ones? I will be looking into that shortly. So yeah, expect updates on that. Will there be rewards for free trial account success? We don't currently have free trials, but we are going to look to add them in the future. And there's some ideas around this in terms of free trial competitions, etc. So I'm going to keep this one in mind. Next one, miscellaneous and power questions. Boom. We're on to the power questions. This is going to be, it looks like the final questions as well. Tips for on-screen display. Why does TFT offer such aggressive discounts? Is it sustainable? Let's talk about the discounts. So if you look at the base price for the Royal Pro, like I believe the 200K is like $1,800. So if we discount it 85%, so if we discount 85% times 8, so if that goes down to like $300 about, right? Because of 85% discount, that is what, that lowest price that we're willing to offer is how we've modeled the challenge in terms of us knowing that the challenge is going to be profitable for us. So if the lowest price is $300, we have modeled it out to say, okay, when we charge $300, we expect there to be a 30% payouts to revenue ratio, meaning every $1,000 we bring in, there will be around $300 in payouts that go out. And again, it's based on that lowest price point. So we're comfortable doing 80% off, 75% off, 85% off, because we know at that bottom price, we will still make money. And that's really just what it comes down to. It's the same way as you guys go into Walmart and they have like a crazy deal, right, going on the TVs where they're doing 50% off type of shit. End of the day, they know they're still going to make money off that TV. They know they're getting still a profit margin, or in some cases they want to just move inventory. So for us, like, we know we're still going to make profit after those discounts, and that's why we do them. Do you copy traders to live accounts? No. I don't believe any firm on the CFD side does this, or they would talk about it. So if you think your firm does this, go and ask them, and I guarantee publicly they will not answer that question. Is it the goal for the company to trade? It has been the goal for a long time, but the reality is when you're offering a simulated market, and you're offering clients the ability to trade in really any way they want per se, it becomes difficult to identify kind of profitable strategies that we can take. And it also takes a certain amount of data for you to then be able to use machine learning, and be able to really mine gold or mine value from that data set, where you can confidently say, okay, when I get this signal from all these traders trading gold, I should trade gold at this size, right? This has been our goal from literally day one, from 2021. We've been working on it on and off since then. We have some potential there. We've never been able to go live, quite honestly, because of our situation with the technology, not owning the technology, not having control over it. With us moving to our own dashboard, this is part of the strategic objective, is to be able to trade, and that allows us to get closer to that goal. So it is in the pipeline. It is part of our goals. Does it happen right now? No. But when it does, like I said, we will talk about it. And any firm that does do it, they would talk about it if they were doing it. What is the current payouts to revenue ratio? It's a great question. The objective for the current payout to revenue ratio is about 30%. So when we create programs, we aim to have a 30% payout to revenue ratio. So that means if we do $10 million, we aim to pay out $3 million. And then we have costs related to, let's just say technology costs 10%. Let's just say credit card processing costs 3%. Let's say the platforms cost up to 10%, for us to use each of those. Let's say the employees cost 5%. So when it comes down to the mathematics of the business model and the operational expenses of the business, even some sub, will end up costing 1 to 2%, for us to use that. Like, all of these little things add up, and we need to make sure that we have a wide enough margin where we not only can pay all of our expenses, but we can also save money, so that in the event that there's something we need to invest in the event that I need to buy a yacht, no, I'm just kidding. In the event that we need to, like, there's a market event, we need to reinvest in the business becomes negative for whatever reason, we need to have that money in the background. But our goal is a 30% payout to revenue ratio. And listen, there's things outside of our control that really do happen, right? There's legal stuff that goes on. There's stuff with vendors that goes on. There's a lot of costs. Maybe I'll do a breakdown of generally the costs of a business, of one of these businesses, and the percentages of what each of those costs are, so you guys can understand things a little bit better. Maybe I'll do that. What are the biggest operational challenges right now? The biggest operational challenges generally for the business is just if you're using other trading platforms, so like Platform 5, CTrader, MatchTrader, maintaining those relationships, because you're relying on them, right? So that's always a risk. Your withdrawal methods, so which companies you're using for withdrawals, how your relationships with them are going. Do you have backup options? Your payment processing options, so being able to take in payments, making sure that you have solutions there, managing fraudulent payments, chargebacks. That's a huge part of the business as well, and that's a constant operational challenge. Is the technology working, right? Are the accounts being monitored correctly, are breaches working, um, is just generally the system working correctly when someone reaches a funded account? Are they within the right section? Blah, 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 in terms of being enabled. So those are just operational challenges, just making sure things are working properly. We're constantly auditing the processes, staying on top of things. The reason I'm so active in Discord is because I'm curious from your guys' perspective what is happening. Is there some things that we're not seeing yet, that are just coming up that we can kind of fix right now? So that's why I'm constantly reading Discord, reading your guys' feedback in there to understand if there is an issue that is happening that we're not seeing yet. So yeah, and another huge operational challenge right now is just navigating the backlog payouts from March 2024 and trying to get those people paid, trying to get accounts out to people that are still owed accounts, trying to make that happen. So that's a huge operational challenge at the moment, trying to balance the finances to be able to pay not only new traders, old traders, all the bills, everything like that. So a huge shout out to the team, my partner, for taking that on. Definitely not an easy task. That's pretty much it, guys. So we went through all of the questions for the AMA. To wrap things up, I just want to say this. You guys have been providing a lot of feedback in Discord. I am there every single day reading through Discord. If you tag me inside of Discord, I will see that message. 95% chance, 99% chance, realistically. So I'm constantly reading through there. I'm seeing the messages, I'm seeing the issues, I'm working in some ways slowly through the issues, and trying to resolve them. And I'll say this: we've done in April, in terms of payouts, probably within now the top 13, top 12 in the entire industry. So we're starting to ramp up. We're starting to grow again. And the beauty of that is a lot of people are getting paid because the new rules that we created, the payouts are a bit smaller, although you can withdraw more frequently. So the volume of payouts is higher. The amount of payouts are lower, though, the average amount of payouts, and that's kind of by design. So we've been able to impact a lot of people. We've been able to impact people too in different areas than we did previously, like in terms of our influence right now in India has grown significantly, the UK has grown significantly, Nigeria has grown significantly. So things are shifting, things are changing. And yeah, this isn't an easy business for you to be in. This is an easy business for us to be in, but we're all here. At the end of the day, you guys are here to make money, to have an opportunity to monetize your skill set. And we're here to give you that opportunity and to, at the end of the day, be a good partner to you guys. So that's how we're going to continue to work on things. That's our goal, is to provide you guys a good experience. And we're going to do that by being very hands-on. And yeah, so later today, I'm going to post some polls inside of Discord. We're going to be getting more feedback from you guys. I'm finally going to go through the suggestions channel. I'm going to download all the suggestions, and then I'm going to create a poll where you guys are going to vote on the suggestions that you want to happen first. We did this previously, and then we're going to create a roadmap together where we're going to talk about, or we're going to see like exactly what the company is going to focus on doing over the next 60 to 90 days, and you guys are going to help build that together with us. And there's a lot of other stuff I want to talk about, but we'll save it for another AMA. Just know at the end of the day, we're building this together. This is our community to create something, and we've in the past done amazing things, but it's not about the past. It's about the present. It's about the future, what we're creating. And that's how you guys should approach your life. That's how you got, in my opinion, that's how you guys should approach everything. Is doesn't really matter what you did in the past. All that matters is what you do now. And that's what we all should focus on. And so the choices that we make now are going to be focused on helping people that feel like they need resolutions, helping traders that are currently trading with us, and helping people that don't have enough money to trade yet, but that want to build our community with us. Those are the three groups of people that I'm focused on, and that we're going to deliver an experience to. So appreciate you guys taking the time. If you want to watch the replay, it's live on YouTube, and you guys can go over there. We'll add timestamps and everything like that. And I'll see you guys on the next AMA. It's going to be 2 weeks from now, most likely on a Tuesday. So I'll talk to you guys in the next one, and thanks again.